Hey guys, it's Lakin here. So today we're going to do a reading about your overall energy or the energy you are putting out there currently. So basically, it'll be mind, body, soul, life. I also have, oh, and by the way, these are the magical Nordic tarot cards. And to kind of sum up the energy that you're putting out in your life right now, we are going to use the Wild Unknown archetype cards. And in the end, we will shuffle the affirmator cards as well. And you will be getting a couple of those to finish off the reading. So the way that I'm doing this is, this is going to be pile 1. So this is a whale tail. This is going to be pile 2. Oh, and by the way, for pile 1, this is green aventurine whale tail. For pile 2, I'm not really sure what this is. I think it might be hematite, but I'm not positive. But it looks like hematite. And then for pile 3, a turquoise heart. Alright guys, so take a second and figure out which pile is yours. And by the way, this is a timeless reading, so you can come back anytime and listen to this reading. And then as soon as you choose your pile, just jump down below and go to the time for your pile, and we'll get started. Hi pile 1. So if you chose this pile, the whale tail green aventurine, then this reading is for you. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the Wild Unknown archetype cards, and I'll shuffle them on camera. And this will give us an overall look at the energy that you are putting out into the world right now, or how people are feeling about you, or just the overall feeling of you. So, oh, you got 2 cards. So one is the desert, and one is the shadow. Wow, all right. The desert and the shadow. So I'll put these here. So I don't have these cards memorized because they're archetype cards and they are oracle cards. So if you don't know this, generally a tarot card reader won't have the oracle cards memorized because there's so many and they're all just so different. So for these 2, I am going to read from the book to tell you what they mean. So the desert says, the drought, the wasteland, the badlands. When this is light, it is surreal, strange, unexpected, and silent. When it's dark, it is drying, deadening, disorienting, or isolating. The desert leaves us disoriented, desperate for direction, grasping for meaning, longing for solid ground. For endless miles, we are confronted with a lack of clarity and existential dread. We are thirsty, hungry, pleading with life to get back to normal, to become animated by the simple pleasantries of day-to-day life. The desert offers no such comfort, and all must pass through it. If you embrace the discomfort of the desert, knowing you will someday reach water again, you can tap into the potent energy of the landscape. Its lights are blindingly bright, and its dark is terrifyingly deep, which makes for unbridled creativity and clairvoyant vision. Truths reside in the desert that otherwise remain hidden. The crows, the shadows, and the coyotes call, surround you. Let the winds and sands work their deep magic, weary traveler. And then the shadow the unspeakable, the unwelcome, the denied. When this is light, this means revealing unconscious aspects of the self in the world. When it's dark, it is denying unconscious aspects of the self in the world. Although every card in the archetypes deck has a shadow potential, this card asks us to delve into the qualities of the shadow itself. We often think that the shadow can be purified, illuminated, and made right through effort and achievement. However, it is typically the case that our lofty pursuit of ascension and perfection is the very source of shadow material itself. By rejecting parts of ourselves and the world, we begin to separate from the whole. Rather than getting to know the qualities and content of our shadows, we busy ourselves with avoiding its presence. This is denial. When this card appears, it is time to take inventory of those things you've been denying. When the mind responds with, "No, anything but that," you are touching shadow. Find support for this deep inner work and move toward the shadow with patience and compassion. So, it looks like your energy right now is so far, maybe you have some dry, dark humor. Maybe you're very isolated. Maybe you're very kind of a hermit right now. Maybe you've distanced yourself from a lot of people. Maybe you've cut ties with a lot of people. And maybe you don't even give off the vibe that you're kind of stuck in a rut, but you're kind of stuck in a rut, it seems. There's probably people wondering what's going on with you. And maybe you don't even know what's going on with you because you're being asked to go very deeply right now. And I'm not sure if you're doing it because this reading is for many different people. But if you're not, I think that things in your life are going to keep kind of falling or just feel chaotic, if not just dreadful, until you face kind of the demons inside, which we all must do at some point. So let's look at the mind card. So the first card, the mind, wishes. So we have the star here. The star is about hope. It's about being idealistic. It's about dreaming. It's about looking off in the distance, and seeing something else and wishing you were there instead of here. Wishing you were anywhere but where you are. Just kind of an escapist point of view. And I'm saying that because of these cards as well, Sometimes the star can be a really great card because it also means that if things are really dark, you still have some hope, which is good. But your mind is very distracted with escapist tendencies. The body, 7 of Swords. So it says betrayal. So anytime there's a 7 present, it usually means that there are many, it's usually an indication of many options, many people, many thoughts. So the Swords card is about thoughts. It's about communication. So what this is saying to me, because this is the body, is that you are being physically affected by your mental space and your very busy mind and the frequent thoughts possibly centered around something like betrayal. Perhaps you're going through a time right now where you're reflecting what feels like without a choice on all the things that maybe have happened to you in the past, and it's kind of all built up to feeling like the world is kind of taking a shit on you. And I get it, I've been there. But just know that if it's not dealt with and you continue to live in the shadow, it will make you physically ill eventually. Because anytime our physical body, well, let me back up a bit. Anytime we dwell on thoughts, our physical body takes a toll. When we're stressed, our immune system weakens. When we are emotional, we get very tired, things like that. So eventually, the different chemical reactions or hormonal reactions will create other reactions in the body that will end up making the body ill. So bear that in mind. And then for the soul, we have the 2 of Swords, difficulties. So the soul is at a crossroad currently. It is battling. So by the way, there's a lot of swords here. So that tells me that it's just a lot of mental activity, and you didn't even get swords on the mental card or the mind card, but in the body and the soul, you got swords, which are about thoughts or the mind. And so having the two of swords means being at a crossroad or having some type of mental conflict or mental battle with yourself. And that's a lot to do with the shadow or being lost in a desert. Because when you're in a desert, you have no one or nothing. And so you're kind of reaching out for help and there's no one around. And the shadow is like no one sees you because you're just a shadow. You know, you're not an actual person, you're just that person's shadow of that person. So you see how this is kind of gray and this is white, and then in the middle is black. So that would be the shadow self. So there's always yin and yang, and there's always yang and yin, just a little bit. And so right now you're maybe not realizing that what you're trying to do is balance those two sides of yourself, the dark and the light, and come to terms with your shadow. And then your life, the last card you have is forgiveness or judgment. So in your life, this also looks like a reflection. So it's like you're maybe waving or parting ways with yourself. Maybe you've judged yourself too harshly. Maybe you've gotten really disgusted with yourself because you have met your shadow and you're in denial of that really being who you are, and you may not realize that unconsciously you have not forgiven yourself and you've judged yourself too harshly, or perhaps you've judged others too harshly and you need to forgive others, and that is part of your shadow as well because you have resentments and you feel betrayed, and that's been very, difficult for you, and it's probably brought out this shadow. But don't fret for too long, because not to worry. When you do overcome your shadow and integrate it into your being, then you're much stronger than you were before. And it will no longer hold you down to a place that makes you feel like you're in a desert. I think it's really time to make peace with the past. So the overall energy here is basically, oh, and by the way, whale tail. It's time to let go of the past and let it swim away, I suppose. So a whale tail would be a really cool symbol for this, especially since it's cut off. So it would kind of be a symbol of emotions, because anything in water is always very emotional. So I think in your life you're trapped. You're in your mind, but all of your emotional baggage is kind of trapped down in your shadow. And you really need to greet it, and then after you accept it, part ways with all the baggage. Once you do that, then you can reintegrate yourself into your normal life that you had before. And you probably won't be able to do that until you can overcome this feeling of being a mere shadow of yourself. So, yeah, self-acceptance and self-love. Know that you're worthy, you're no less than anyone else, and neither is anyone around you. And if anyone has hurt you, just remember that they're on the same journey as you are, and they're all doing the best they can with this human experience. And we make a lot of mistakes, but mistakes are how we learn. And some people make mistakes and still don't learn. And that's called insanity. And that's okay too. That's okay too. That will only hurt them. And usually that is an indication of being in denial. All right. So let's get you an affirmation card. I usually do that about 3 times. Oops. is. All right, what we got here is ups and downs. It says, I see life as an incredible ride, and I'm lucky to be on it. Yes, the ups and downs make me want to puke sometimes, but they're also what make things fun and interesting. And when you look back, even puking on yourself makes a good story. There you have it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed your reading, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this lightning bolt, I think it's hematite, then this is your reading. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to shuffle these archetype cards from the Wild Unknown, and this will tell us what your overall energy is, and then we will look at your mind, body, soul, life, and then we'll do an affirmation card. So here we go. So what is the overall energy of Pile 2? What is the overall energy of Pile 2? So you actually had 2 cards come out, just like Pile 1 did. And you got the Mask and the Vessel. So, like I told Pile 1, these are our oracle cards, so I do not have them memorized, so I'll have to read these from the book. Oracle cards there's so many of them. I mean, you can try and memorize them, but good luck. So the first one is the Mask, and the Mask is... Where is the Mask? It's like the only... Okay, there it is. 187. Wow, I just flipped right to it. It's cool. Okay, the Mask. The persona, the performance, the reveal. We often think of a mask as something that conceals our identity, yet contemplate the possibility that the mask permits our true identity to be revealed. It allows. The mask gives voice to that which was previously rejected. When this card appears, enact the side of you that is seeking expression, yet was never given a role to play on the stage of your life. You are in the realm of theater, so anything is possible. Speak with the other's voice, embody the other's limbs. You are taking part in a ritual of expanding the self. There may be mischief and deception around, and others may be trying on new masks too. No one is sure who is who. It's likely you've become so attached to a single mask that you need to fall face forward into this perception bending time. Trust it. It reveals what is being suppressed or further conceals what is rejected. And the Vessel is 203. The body, the container, the cup. The vessel may be the most powerful archetype form on earth. It is everywhere. Cups hold liquid. Stoves hold fire. Our bodies hold organs. Our homes hold families. Through the simple act of separation, the vessel protects what it contains. Nests protect the eggs. Saving accounts protect our earnings. Even the planets are contained within their circular orbit. When this card appears, it's time to assess what is being held together and how. Is the vessel too tight, too loose, broken, empty, full? Or perhaps there is no vessel at all, and the contents spill in every direction. It is natural for structures to be formed and eventually fall apart. The vessel has a life cycle that must be honored. Is it time for you to build, break, or repair? You must find out. It is either stable, strong, or graceful, or trapped in being in a bubble. So there's similarities in those. So I would say that those of you who got this reading, you're probably trying to figure out who you are. And this is good because this is a place that is exciting, maybe a bit confusing, and I get the feeling that a lot of you are pretty young who chose Pile 2. Maybe not all of you. Maybe some of you are getting to know your body better. Maybe some of you are, your body's like changing a bit. in ways that are making you more mature. Maybe you're seeing signs of aging or just an overall new life cycle. And with that comes a new form of identity. So perhaps you're having a hard time figuring out how you want to express yourself because you're not really sure of who you are. And so you're kind of changing in different ways, or it's either that or you're suppressing changes that you desire. So let's look at the mind. So the mind is the King of Swords. So this is a person that is very controlled mentally. So this person has mastered their mind, their thoughts. They are a master. They're probably really good at communicating. The only downfall to this is they may have a habit of gossiping, or they may talk about people. They like to spill the tea. However, they are masters of their own mind. The only thing about this card that could be negative is that sometimes these people are also very good at lying and deception and manipulation, which means if they can do that to others, they can also do it to themselves. So there could be a bit of denial or deception here with the self. Maybe this person doesn't know who the self is yet because they're trying on masks, or they should try on masks. I won't say should. They are invited to, and they haven't yet. Let's look at the body. Now, the body is, again, and maybe this isn't for all of you, but I would say most of you are pretty young, because a page is usually an indication of a young person or a less mature person. So the page is the youngest within the court cards. And this is the body. It's also pentacles. Pentacles literally is about the body, or anything that is tangible, physical. So a young body is what this is saying to me. It's also saying new experience. So the vessel and the body here, the young body, like I said, going through changes, and this says new experiences, so maybe new physical experiences. So you're probably young, you're probably healthy, maybe active, and if you're not active, I think that it would probably do you a lot of good to get active so that you can figure out this new expression and this new identity, and whether you like it or you don't like it to be an active person. And then for the soul, we have the Seven of Wands. So, wands are usually about passion and desire. Sevens are usually an indication of having many things. So, maybe you got your hand in many different pots right now. Maybe you're trying different things already. Maybe there's a lot of different things happening and you might be overwhelmed, and that is why you're having a hard time figuring out who you are. Or this could be a good thing, because it could mean that there's so many different doors that you could have endless options, but it may leave you feeling overwhelmed. But it does say defense. So you may feel like in some ways you have to defend yourself in who you are, but it's hard to do that because really there is some confusion inside of who that might be. And then lastly, we have life, and this is the Tower. So here's the mask, the vessel, the King of Swords for your mind, the Page of Pentacles for your body, the Seven of Wands for your soul, and lastly, the Tower for your life. Now, it looks like in this card that there's a dragon and a fire. Also, you know what else is funny about this card? Lightning bolts. So, the association of a lightning bolt is usually of rapid action. It's about something new, quickness. It's also about communication. It's about flashing forward or futuristic, eccentricity, or electricity, literally. It can also be something that burns you, or something that, and by the way, wands are a little bit like that too. They can be magical. They can be something that you can manifest with. But they can also hurt you if you don't know how to use them. So there could be an energy of structure and foundation being a bit uprooted or pulled out from under you in a way. Or perhaps on the flip side, you have a foundation and a structure, but there's something in you that is yearning to kind of mess it up and create some chaos, and maybe you don't realize that, and that's why you're in so many different things right now, creating this overwhelming feeling for you. But it's a good thing because you're trying to figure out who you are. So sometimes chaos is necessary in order to change. We kind of have to shake the foundation in ways. So if you are reflecting on the outside of you and feeling like things are happening against you, just know that the outside is merely a reflection of the inside. So the overall energy of this is, it's really good. It's fresh. It's new. It's having new endeavors. It's probably adventurous. It's not really held back or reserved in any way. It's exciting, exhilarating even, but chaotic, adventurous, things like that. So let's get you an affirmation card. There it is. That was quick. So, your final card is worthiness. Worthiness. I am worthy of the ultimate happiness. I deserve and accept it. I deserve and accept it. And damn it, I'm not going to feel guilty about it when I get it. Guilt is not invited to my happiness party. I won't even tell him where it is. If he asks about it all, it'll be like, no, I think you're thinking of something else. And then I'll run away very quickly. Running away very quickly. Like I said, this is about quickness. So hopefully you're not running away from anything. Are you distracting yourself from anything? Are you putting your hands in so many honeypots because you are in need of distraction? Trying to figure out who you are? That is probably not the best way to go about that, to be honest with you. But, yeah. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed that reading today. And if you did, give it a like, share, comment. It would be awesome too. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hi Pile 3. So if you chose this turquoise heart, then this is your reading. So the first thing that I'm going to do is choose one archetype or wild unknown oracle card. And that will give us the overall energy of the reading, or the overall energy of you currently. And then after we see that, we will look at your mind, your body, your soul, and your life. And then when we're done with those, we will pull an affirmation card, and that will conclude your reading. So let's get started. So what is the overall energy of pile 3? That is so weird. Every single pile. I plan on getting one card for every single pile, and every single pile got 2. So, your cards are the Starborn and Agape. I think that's how you say that, Agape. Okay, so like I told the other two piles, I do not have these cards memorized, so I'll have to read these from the book because there's so many of them. They're in so many different oracle cards, period. There's no way I could ever remember all of them because they're not traditional tarot cards. So I am going to read this to you. So the Starborn. Page 67. The divine child, the star child, the destined. An elusive yet radiant aspect of the self, the star-born archetype points to the cosmic spark of light that arrives with each being at birth. The moment the newborn crowns, whether vaginally or surgically, the royal star above, the royal stars above are said to constellate in a unique shape that map our path in the world. The idea of destiny is controversial, yet the star-born naturally feels a sense of destination and purpose, aiming itself toward a future that is beyond the mundane. When this card appears, travel back to your birth story for clues and insight. What did you desire when you were young? Practice seeing your life from a mythical point of view rather than a series of logistics. Read the story of the three fates and envision yourself born under the stars with a unique destiny. Agape. Devotion, unconditional love, the heart. What if, instead of putting yourself at the center of your spiritual practice, you put God, Goddess, or nature at the center? How would this change your approach? This is the energy of Agape. It is alive when we are in awe and wonder, our breath taken away by the sacred force that surrounds us and asks for nothing in return. This card can indicate a spiritual initiation that stretches your capacity to love and serve. You sense the earthly as heavenly and vice versa. Such an initiatory moment can appear in any form, like a healing balm to the modern soul. Its effects last a lifetime. The Agape card may also suggest you reassess what you worship every day, consciously or unconsciously. What are you elevating? Where does the sacred ladder you climb ultimately lead to? All right, so these are really, really good cards. So this tells me so far that your overall energy is very spiritually high, that there's no such thing really as vibrating high. However, you definitely have a sense of higher chakras. You're very elevated. Perhaps you have recently gone through a spiritual awakening or a spiritual shift of some kind, or you have just become interested in all of this, just changed your mind and become more centered in yourself spiritually. Either way, let's dig a little bit further. So, the mind. Wow. The mind is the King of Cups, which is understanding, another symbol of unconditional love. So this is really great. So your mind is perhaps very accepting. It doesn't dwell too frequently on betrayals or things that you may have resented people for in the past. You don't feel bitter. Perhaps you've recently just felt sort of wiped clean. You're kind of in a pure place. You maybe let some things go recently, and so you're not being held back by your thoughts clouding your life. So far your energy is very, very welcoming, very warm, and very uplifting. Your body, the Fool. New beginning. So the symbol 0 is also the cosmic egg. So really, they're kind of the same thing. It starts over at the top. So a new beginning. The Fool is someone who is known for being sort of impulsive and not really looking where they're going, but also having faith and trust in the fact that where they are going, they'll be good, they'll be fine, and they're willing to take that risk because they have full faith and trust in the universe and what it's providing for them. So really, really beautiful reading so far. So if you're here just to be validated, I'm going to go ahead and say you're validated. You're on the right path. You're in a really good place. Keep going. So, and by the way, the body is healthy. It's probably also just gotten over some things, just let some things go. Perhaps you were struggling with some illnesses before and now you feel a lot better physically, and that's great. The Soul. All right, so this is the first card that is sort of, makes you question a bit. So the Soul is the Eight of Swords. So the swords are about the mind, and eights are about unity or wholeness. It's about bringing together the physical and the spiritual and manifesting it into reality. But for some reason, we have restriction here. So perhaps you do still feel like there's something restricting you or holding you back. The sense that I get is that because of this card, agape, there is maybe some isms that you still have. So a specific religious belief system that you cling to, or a god or a goddess or something that you believe in. And that may be the thing that is restricting you to your full potential, not allowing new opportunities as far as spirituality goes to just come to you and be open with it and learn about it and see where it takes you. If you just stick to one belief system, one god, one goddess, one religion, whatever it may be, then you are restricting yourself or limiting yourself to all that is. So that's what I'll say about that. And the last card we have is Life. And yep, this is the Ace of Cups. So this is a card of new emotions, could even be, wow, look at the colors. Almost fits right in. So cups are about emotions and aces are about newness. So we've got new beginnings here, we've got ace here. So something about you has started something new. I really feel like you've went through a total transformation, possibly, or you've really shifted and elevated lately, and you've probably done a lot of work, and maybe you don't even realize how much work you've done. You've gotten here, which feels like it just kind of flowed easily, and that's great. But perhaps you did have to do a lot of work to get here. I'm not sure because I'm not really looking at the past. But yeah, you are allowing things to flow through you very easily. You're very understanding, accepting. And that's the energy that you're giving off right now. You're somebody who is probably having suddenly a lot of people flock to you, a lot of people come to you, a lot of people want to communicate with you. A lot of people are coming because they're attracted to that energy that you're putting out there. They're very curious about who you are and what you're about. And that is just another reason why your soul is asking you not to restrict yourself to one belief system, because there are so many beautiful ones, and sticking to one would sort of be a shame, simply because it all has meaning, it all has truth, and it may really help you grow even further. So yeah, that was a really, really good reading. Good job. Great. Very proud of you. And again, if you did come here for validation, you have it. But next time, know that you don't need validation. You should just know. You should just be okay with knowing without the validation. And last, we have an affirmator card. So I'll shuffle these and I'll grab one of these, and that will conclude your reading. What is our final message for pile 3? What does pile 3 need to hear? Okay. So, we've got courage. No one is fearless. No one. But even though I'm not fearless, I am courageous. When fear shows up, I don't run away from it. I use my courage to conquer it. My courage allows me to walk right up to that fear and kick it in the nuts. Then quickly hide behind someone bigger until it goes away. So there you have it. Have courage to be okay with these new endeavors. Know that you're a star. Allow it to just agape. Go agape. You are in really great energy. Don't limit yourself and stamp it out because you're not open to newness. Because if you are closed to newness, eventually this energy becomes stagnant and then it closes back off. And you don't want to limit yourself that way or restrict this growth because it's going in a really good direction. So your soul is asking you not to be restricted. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed that reading. And if you did, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, or comment if you did. I would really appreciate comments. And I'll see you next time, guys.